and gentlemen, today is Gita Jayanti, the day Lord Krishna delivered the timeless counsel of duty and discipline to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Sending his greetings to the nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today underlined Bhagavad Gita's message of fulfillment of duty and also delivered his own version aimed at the opposition. Speaking outside Parliament ahead of the first day of winter session of Parliament, Prime Minister Modi accused the opposition of turning the House into a place to vent frustration, shout slogans and stage spectacles after poll defeats. Referring to the drubbing of the opposition parties in the Bihar elections, Prime Minister said the opposition was unable to digest failure and using defeat as grounds to create disruption. Prime Minister's message was unambiguous. Parliament is not a place for drama, it is a place for delivery. Listen in.
इन चीजों को गंभीरता से ले, ड्रामा करने के लिए जगह बहुत होती है, जिसको करना है करते रहें, यहां ड्रामा नहीं डिलीवरी होनी चाहिए। एक आध दो दल तो ऐसे हैं कि वो पराजय भी नहीं पचा पाते और मैं सोच रहा था बिहार के नतीजे इतना समय हो गया है तो अब थोड़ा संभल गए होंगे, लेकिन कल जो मैं बयानबाजी सुन रहा हूं उनकी तो उसे लगता है कि पराजय ने उनको परेशान करके रखा है। पराजय की बौखलाहट का वो मैदान नहीं बनना चाहिए। अब उन्होंने एक बार चिंतन करना चाहिए कि पिछले 10 साल से ये जो खेल खेल रहे हैं, देश स्वीकार नहीं कर रही है इन पद्धतियों को, तो अब थोड़ा बदलें, अपनी रणनीति बदलें। मैं टिप्स देने के लिए तैयार हूं उनको कैसे परफॉर्म करना चाहिए।
The Prime Minister may be eager to offer the opposition a refresher course on how to win elections, but the India bloc is in no mood to take the advice. They're back to their comfort zone, dharna and disruption. After ensuring the monsoon session was virtually a write-off over Bihar's electoral roll revision, the bloc is now threatening a winter session washout over S.I.R. 2.0 unless Parliament drops everything and discusses their chosen issue and on their terms. They forced adjournments on very first day of winter session and will be back at the Makar Dwar tomorrow morning to protest over voter roll sanitization. As far as Prime Minister's advice is concerned, well, they responded by calling him the biggest dramebaz.
I suggest that urgent issues like what you said, pollution, other issues, SIR, which are these are huge issues. Let's discuss them. What is Parliament for? Let's discuss them. Let them have a discussion. It's not drama. Speaking about issues, raising issues is not drama. Drama is not allowing discussion. Drama is not having a democratic discussion about issues that matter to the public.
हम ये चाहते हैं कि सिंसियरिटी से काम हो ऐसा और कोई भी मतदाता छूटे नहीं। जो ये जान जा रही है, ये भी ड्रामा है क्या? हमारे साथियों ये बताइए, जो बीएलओ ये जान चली गई जिनकी, ठीक है, ड्रामा था कि जान जाना?
What is the opposition raising in Parliament? They are asking the government to at least initiate a debate and discussion on SIR or electoral reforms. Do you think it's drama? If the Prime Minister or the BJP leadership or the one sitting at the helm of affairs in the government thinks that by raising the right questions for the people or raising people's voices is drama, then let people of the country see and answer them in the next election.
पीएम ने अगर ऐसा यहाँ बोला है तो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस बोलिए, कर लें। मतलब विपक्ष हार की हताशा में है और आपके अंदर कौन सी हताशा है? चुनाव मौलिक मुद्दों पर नहीं लड़के कट्टा, मंगलसूत्र, भैंस, मुजरा, ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर की गरिमा है।
This is precisely why Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the opposition might want to borrow a page or two from his playbook, because how does one explain the opposition's refusal to accept the Bihar verdict, a verdict delivered after record turnout and a complaint-free SIR? How does one justify this political denialism, is insistence on flogging an issue that voters have clearly shrugged off? In fact, the desperation to cling to SIR is so intense that the opposition can't even keep its complaints straight. In Bihar, the grievance was why hold SIR so close to the election. In the second phase, Akhilesh Yadav complained why hold SIR so early. UP elections are in 2027. So the timeline is wrong when it is near the election and also wrong when it is far away from the election. Listen in.
मैंने तो मांग की थी, क्या जल्दीबाजी क्या है? यूपी में कोई कल इलेक्शन है क्या? अभी यूपी में समय है इलेक्शन का, बंगाल में भी मान लीजिए समय है और आखिरी दिन तक वोट बन सकता है, तो आप इतनी जल्दीबाजी ऐसा क्यों कराना चाहते हैं? आप समय क्यों नहीं देना चाहते?
This chronic lack of focus on real issues is costing the opposition dearly. Election after election, defeat after defeat. The Congress is fighting for political survival and relevance. But look what its leaders are busy rescuing. Not their party, but puppies. That too, bringing them to parliament. Congress MP Renuka Chaudhary today brought a dog to parliament, claiming it was wandering near the side of a collision, and moved by compassion, she decided to scoop it up and bring it along. But what she also brought along were two new controversies, a potential security violation and a fresh round of unparliamentary language concerns.
जानवर को पसंद नहीं करते है ना सरकार, गूंगा जानवर गाड़ी में चले गए तो इनको क्या तकलीफ है? काटने वाला कुत्ता दिखा के इतनी सी तो है, काटने वाला और है पार्लियामेंट में, कुत्ते नहीं.
Well, love for pets and animals is one thing, but calling parliamentarians inside parliament are the ones who actually bite, not the real dogs, I don't know if that is parliamentary language, even if it is outside parliament. She isn't the only one. While Priyanka Gandhi appealed for serious discussions and a serious opposition, here's what another Congress leader is busy talking about. The Prime Minister casting a spell on people of India. Yes, forget strategy, forget groundwork, forget reconnecting with voters. Focus on now Jadi Bhuti.
ऐसी कौन सी प्रधानमंत्री जी के पास जड़ी बूटी है कि वो देश को सुंघा देते हैं कि उनकी एंटी इनकम्बेंसी होती ही नहीं, हर बार वो और उभर के आते हैं. सड़क के ऊपर लोग बुरा कह रहे हैं, रैलियों के अंदर लोग उमड़ के पड़ रहे हैं हमारी, और वोट उनको पड़ रहा है. ऐसा कौन सा चमत्कार है भाई आपके पास? ये जो ईवीएम का चमत्कार है ना, और ये इलेक्शन कमीशन का चमत्कार है, हम इसी पे चर्चा करना चाहते हैं.
While delivering these dramatic dialogues, the opposition seems to forget one simple truth. It's service delivery that matters, not winking, not mimicry, not dog whistles dressed up as issues. Wearing masks at Makar Dwar doesn't mask the lack of actual governance. Photo ops can't substitute performance. Because at the end of the day, it is work, not theatrics, that has enabled the BJP to command nearly 40% of all MLAs in the country. And it is the absence of that work on the ground which leaves the opposition talking about vote chori, dogs, snakes, jadi bhuti, anything except real issues.
Special intensive revision or electoral reforms or whatever. I have stated before the beginning of the winter session that government is not averse to taking up discussion for anything. If you insist on the timeline, you can create, the timeline is set by you. I am obliging the direction of the chair.
Parliament to run. Why doesn't the government want a discussion when everybody here wants a discussion? The problem is, timeline is not the problem. The problem is a trust deficit. The whole session, they did not have a discussion. How can we trust them? How can we trust them?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the Motorola legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. Will opposition take note of Prime Minister's advice of focusing on delivery, not drama? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political analyst, scientist, also joining us, Tausif Rahman, national spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, Abbas Haider, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Salim Dharnidharan, national spokesperson of the DMK, Somnath Bharti, former Minister of Law, Tourism and Culture in the Delhi government and senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party. But my first question to Congress leader Sanjay Jha. And Sanjay Jha, is this the demonstration of business and the fact that you're addressing issues of the people of India, that Congress MP Renuka Chaudhary, to make a statement, brings in dogs? I have nothing against dogs. I'm a pet lover myself. But to say that जो काटते हैं वो पार्लियामेंट के अंदर बैठते हैं, I really want to understand from you, are we going from really the ordinary to the bizarre when it comes to taking on the treasury benches to take on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi? After all, Prime Minister said nothing wrong. Opposition, protests, all of them have their place, but delivery is most important. Why would the Congress take umbrage to that statement?
Navika, good evening to you and to all my panelists on the program. I will answer Renuka's statement. She's a dear friend. I will definitely answer that. But I think, let me start by telling you that the Prime Minister disrespects democracy. For him to believe that when opposition is talking about democracy, constitution, election systems, secularism, institutions, governance, that's not drama. Mr. Modi, that is not drama. Maybe it is according to you. And by the way, Navika, for the record, a win in an election, big or small, doesn't change the reality that the opposition is fighting on the fundamental issues that concern the citizens of this country and the future of India. And that is not going to change simply because we lost the Bihar election, which is again a question of another debate. It is a fight that is ongoing. It is not going to stop because we are not going to allow an authoritarian disposition which is sectarian blatantly to subvert what India should stand for. Point number one. Point number two, I think the Prime Minister needs to recognize and look within. 146 MPs suspended, and you passed some historic legislations during that time. Mr. Modi should realize this is a country where there are reels and there are TV programs and people watch it on podcasts and social media. You cannot fool this country anymore. They may try and do as much as they can, but people are smart enough to figure out the wheat from the chaff. Point number three, isn't it true, Navika, that today, if someone were to ask me that question, I would say there are 3-letter acronyms that are bothering the Modi government, and they should be the first ones to discuss it on the floor of the August Parliament. Discuss the SIR because it concerns the electoral integrity of this country, which is the foundation of a democracy. Number two, discuss AQI. People are dying, their lungs are burning out, and the pollution has now become a nationwide issue. Thank God for that. Nobody is saying that Mr. Modi is singularly responsible for it. Yes, there's a historical baggage, but we need to hear what has happened over the last 11 years. The government has to explain to the people of Delhi and Mumbai and elsewhere in the country. Point number three, the GDP. I'm telling you, Navika, you and I are both students of economics. It is so shameful today that India's GDP and data on employment and everything else is being subjected to scrutiny like China. Nobody believes the credibility of India's data anymore. I mean, these are serious issues that need to be debated. Let me come to Renuka's point. All I can start by telling you is, I remember this very celebrated politician who in Parliament made the most misogynistic statement against her. There was no condemnation, there was no apology from the BJP treasury benches. In fact, they clapped when the gentleman called her a supernekha in a very nasty kind of. So
are you justifying Renuka ji's behavior today because of what happened in the past?
I'm just answering your question.
And if I recall, records were checked in the past, nobody called her anything. Nobody called her anything by name, by insinuation, I don't know, but insinuation, she said those who bite sits inside the parliament. And may I also ask Shehzad Poonawalla. What was that? That Jappi Jadoo ki Jappi inside Parliament, and then coming and sitting on his seat, and then a wink that was given out. That was not drama. Only dramebaz is the Prime Minister. Like, really?
True respect for democracy comes from a party which has imposed emergency and says we want to fight Indian state. It comes from a party which goes abroad and says that US and UK should intervene into Indian democracy. It comes from a party when it loses elections says that ECI is responsible, EVM is responsible, Mossad and CIA is responsible, who boycotts the oath of the Vice President, boycotts the oath of the Chief Justice of India, boycotts the Independence Day program, boycotts the Republic Day program. This is true respect for democracy. And respect for democracy is most, I would say, democracy pro max respect is when you bring in the temple of democracy a dog. I love dogs. My mom has 3 dogs. But dogs are meant to be somewhere else. This is not a place for जानवर. It is a place for जनता's issues. But Congress में देखिए आनंद जी इतना घूर के देख रहे हैं. आनंद जी पिड्डी is more important than party worker. You know this. In Congress पिड्डी की ज्यादा वैल्यू है. पार्टी वर्कर की कम है. राहुल गांधी चुनाव के समय पर जंगल सफारी में होते हैं, जनता की सफारी कम करते हैं. इसीलिए रेणुका has addressed the right audience. Today Rahul Gandhi would have been very happy that she has brought a dog, and then she has not made this comment just about parliamentarians. She is saying that the people inside, that means our karmcharis of parliament, the staff, they are biting people. She has said even about Operation Mahadev and Operation Sindoor that did the Jawans really kill the terrorists or did they kill somebody else? हैसियत है क्या उनकी? She was also the one who said कि 900 रुपए का सिलेंडर अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकती हो क्या नाविका? So she has always mocked the people. She has mocked the parliament. She has mocked Ambedkar ji Samvidhan. But having said that, now let me come to 2-3 points. First of all, thank you for fact checking, Sanjay. The word Surpanakha was never uttered by anybody. For instance, Rahul, Prime Minister had said कि अध्यक्ष जी इस हंसी को मत रोकिए, ये हंसी बहुत दिनों के बाद रामायण के बाद सुनने मिल रही है. रामायण में तो बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर हैं, इनके मन में सिर्फ सुर्पनखा क्यों आया? So it is Sanjay Jha who's calling Surpanakha to Miss Renuka Chaudhary. We are not calling. Now last, let me say, SIR. This Sanjay Jha is from Mumbai. In Mumbai, his Congress leaders are saying tomorrow is the local poll. Today SIR should happen. But SIR becomes bad and there is very little time in Bengal. SIR, when they did it before 2004, was chamatkar. Today SIR is gunegar. SIR, not one issue they have been able to prove in court of law. In fact, just recently the Supreme Court has said that you have made a lot of passion but very little reason, and you made a whole hawa about the apprehension of deletion but no proof was provided. And finally, if SIR was indeed an issue, I just want to ask Sanjay Jha one thing. Why is it that Tariq Anwar, Shakil Ahmed, Mumtaz Ahmed Patel, then after that Kumari Shelja, and even the leaders of Samajwadi Party and TMC, they have said that Rahul Gandhi is the responsible reason for the loss. It is not vote chori. So when your own people are not buying vote chori, और review meeting में गोली चल रही है, गोली की बातें चल रही है, तो मुझे लगता है कि आत्मचिंतन छोड़कर ताउम्र कांग्रेस वही गलती करती रही, धूल चेहरे पर थी, कांग्रेस आईना साफ करती रही. Disruption over discussion, confrontation instead of consensus. This is the Congress Party's track record. Right from
however, I have a different view on some videos that have just surfaced. Well, there should be an answer given by somebody. But let me. There's a video of Sarvesh Singh that is doing the rounds on. I'll come to you on that.
Congress. Anish George case of suicide. Just 10 seconds. 10 seconds, Sanjay Jha. 10 seconds. Anish George suicide case. Congress has done press conference saying that left leaders have threatened Anish George.
That is
so
Anish
I'm saying
George.
Let's answer. Let them answer.
Then that is Anish. This is Sarvesh. Both need an answer. But Tausifur Rahman, I want to Tausif Rahman, I want to ask you the basic question. While Akhilesh Yadav says it's too early to do an SIR in Uttar Pradesh, why do you want to do it too soon? You're saying he said even about Bengal it is too soon. Others are saying it is too late. Is there consensus within the opposition on what and how they want to raise the SIR issues? Point number one. And point number two, the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Mr. Kiran Rijiju, has clearly said that we are committed to discussing SIR, but you can't dictate it has to be on day one and all other business has to be stopped. You allow business to carry on. The Parliament session has just begun. We will discuss and schedule a time for the SIR discussion. What's wrong with that? Again, the question is, why drama?
Good evening, Navika ji, and good evening, everyone. Shahzad, get well soon. But I don't understand, Navika ji. When I come to your show, I get a chance to speak and let my heart out. But actually, if you say like Parliament is not a place for drama, it's for delivery, then deliver answers. What's wrong, Navika ji? Deliver accountability, deliver justice. 40 people, including BLOs, died during the unplanned SIR exercise. I will come to your question. It's okay. Whatever Shri Akhilesh Yadav said, I can answer that as well. But terrorists killed innocent in Pahalgam. Delhi faced blast. Manipur burns for over 600 days. We demand debate on these issues and the government dismisses it as drama. आप मुझे बताइए नविका जी, जब हमें वोट मिलता है being a MP or whatsoever, we always say that हम आपकी आवाज जो है वो पार्लियामेंट ले जाएंगे. So if raising people's voice is drama, then people will give their reply in the next election. Parliament is the people's house, Navika ji. You agree or not? It's not the government's PR studio. The opposition is working with the legal framework to ask questions. The people deserve answers. Just because BJP won a few states doesn't mean they are not answerable. Navika ji, one more point. The opposition is only asking for a fair debate on SIR. Calling this drama, why are you covering your face? वो तो ठीक है. आईने में धूल लग गया, कब तक चेहरा बचाएंगे, वो तो ठीक है. But ignoring 40 lives lost, including the BLO, due to its unplanned and faulty execution. Again, I say it's faulty execution. Again, I repeat myself.
But is it too early or too late? At least Tausif Rehman, is it too early or too late, the SIR? Akhilesh Yadav says it's too early. You're saying it's too late and it is hurried and it is unscientific and all that. What is it?
I will welcome Shri Ganesh Kumar if he could have given us time to us. 2 महीना में क्या करना चाहते हैं आप लोग?
वो कह रहे हैं 1 साल पहले करो तो भी प्रॉब्लम है. शहजाद जाएं तो जाएं कहां?
Ma'am, we are concerned about Bengal, Navika. No training, glitches, outdated voter rolls, nationwide administrative failures, from security labs to rise law and order issues. क्या पैटर्न है ये?
Okay,
first of all,
all right,
thank you for asking about my health and well-being. But आपको जो हुआ है वो terminal illness की तरह बन चुका है. When you have such kind of short-term, his political rhetoric is terminal illness, nothing else. I'll tell you why. Because in 2005, Mamata Banerjee was so furious with the illegals coming to vote that time she was throwing the kagas on the speaker. And जो 2005 में करना था, जब 2025 में हो रहा है तो बोले और 2 महीना दे दीजिए. अच्छा, तो महाराष्ट्र का मैंने आपको स्पेसिफिकली पूछा है, why are you demanding 1 day before the election? कोई जवाब नहीं. सुप्रीम कोर्ट से 12 स्टेट्स का हुआ है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट में बिहार का भी हुआ. बिहार के ऊपर सुप्रीम कोर्ट की कल टिप्पणी आई, परसों टिप्पणी आई कि इतना एप्रीहेंशन क्रिएट किया, कुछ मिला नहीं, कोई आवाज नहीं उठाई, ना कोई कंप्लेंट डाली है. और आपने बहुत अच्छा बोला कि वी मस्ट डिलीवर अकाउंटेबिलिटी एंड आंसर्स, बट यू शुड पोज क्वेश्चंस, नॉट पोज विद डॉगी. आप पोजिंग विद डॉगी कर रहे हो और फिर बोल रहे हो कि हम अकाउंटेबिलिटी. अच्छा, नाउ आई शो यू वन मोर एग्जांपल. बीएलओ की चिंता है ना, ये जमीरुल इस्लाम मुल्ला, ही हैज थ्रेटेंड दीपक महतो. No, Mr. Tariq will not say anything about मुल्ला. नहीं, आप मुल्ला को बचाओ. अरे आप मुल्ला को बचाइए. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ मुल्ला को बचाना है. अरे कोर्ट में ले जाओ बस.
ले जाओ ना.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर कोर्ट में ले चलो. लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इज देयर सिचुएशन गवर्नमेंट.
राहुल गांधी
तो फिर नहीं तो फिर आप भी SIR कोर्ट ले जाओ. फिर पार्लियामेंट की जरूरत ही क्या है? Everybody should take it to court. But Anand,
how insensitive that Mahato, who comes from tribal community, government employee of West Bengal, is being threatened by Mullah, who's a TMC worker. He's saying go to court. This is the sensitivity for BLO.
Well, Anand Ranganathan, 1 minute, Tausif bhai, 1 minute, Tausif bhai. Anand Ranganathan, I just want to say that today the Election Commission has come out with the numbers, and they have said that almost 99.72% of forms in SIR 2.4 have already been distributed. 88.3 of them have already been digitized. Now there is a 7-day extension, and there are 10 more days left to complete this entire exercise, and this will be done. They've also increased the compensation for BLOs. However, has Parliament become a stage where everybody comes only for histrionics? I'm appalled that a dog, a pet dog, an animal, no disrespect to animals, but bringing the dog becomes a point of political pot shots being taken at those who sit inside, going and doing a jappi, standing on top of tables and trying and stalling parliament. We've seen in the past LED screens of televisions being broken, all kinds of things. They all wait for a parliament session कि अब देखो क्या drama होगा. Is that not why the Prime Minister has said that don't use this for drama, use it for delivery? Because even people of India are now getting fed up. The SIR issue is very much there, must be debated. But should it be debated on day one, and therefore, because it is not debated on day one, we will stall Parliament for all days to come? Is that a right option?
Yeah, look, good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I've been waiting very long for my turn, and I hope my fellow panelists would give me the courtesy of a couple of minutes. No, you're right. Parliamentary debates have turned, if I can say, eloquence into delinquents. But the tragedy is, and I'll tell you what the tragedy is, every conscientious citizen wants to be critical of every government policy. And I think Mr. Modi and everyone, even Shahzad, my good friend, would want that. And I want us to be represented by the opposition parties, be it state or be it at the center. Of course I do. The tragedy is that they are so illogical and irrational and so agenda driven that far from representing us, the common citizens, they are representing God knows who. Let me give you two examples, and I'll quote the two friends out here, and I'll limit my debate interjections to just these 2 points, starting with my good friend Tausif, who rather ominously was flexing his neck muscles like Mike Tyson. I don't know what he was trying to punch, maybe holes in his own argument. Let's talk about SIR. You know, let me quote the Supreme Court that is hearing the matter on SIR. Quote, deletions, talking about the Bihar SIR, deletions took place on clear grounds such as death, migration, and duplication. The process seemed proper in view of the available material. We urged people to actually file affidavit. We provided paralegals. Not a single case came out. Now, away from this, somebody has to explain, maybe my friend Tausif would explain. In a population of 135 million that Bihar has, 90,000 BLOs conducted the whole SIR exercise, visiting house to house, 15.1 million households through dust, storm, heat, weather, monsoon, whatever. And they actually distributed and conducted the SIR and got the voters to 79.1 million voters. Not a single case of suicide was reported, not one. Please, Tausif, how is it that Bengal has less population? There is less for the BLOs to do. There are more percentage-wise BLOs, and yet you are saying there are 40. Of course, every death is tragic, but you got to explain this discrepancy. In Bihar, not a single suicide. Now let me quickly turn to the Zen-like friend, as opposed to Mike Tyson, my good friend Sanjay Jha. Now, you know, this is the tragedy. A scientist has to explain the basic rationale of economics. When he says nobody trusts the GDP numbers, the GDP has zoomed to 8.2%, but why? They are bringing in the IMF. Give me 30 seconds. They are saying IMF is not trusting the numbers, given us C because it is not trusting our data. Well, the data is whatever the IMF has come up with, the figure is based on the base year that we are using, that IMF says is 2011, 2012. The point is, last year also we used the same base year. When you're calculating the rate of growth, the base year does not matter. Number two, Chidambaram has been the finance minister 3 times. During the time he was finance minister during UPA, on both occasions, he was using a 10-year-old base year. And when he was the finance minister in 1990s, he was using 1981 base year. So when Congress uses a base year that is more than a decade, sometimes decade and a half old, data is reliable. When the NDA uses the same thing, the data is suddenly unreliable.
Obviously,
please don't go by that.
Simple.
Go by
Please let me answer.
Well, both people, I have other panelists waiting to answer, but 30 seconds to you, Tausif and Sanjay Jha. Tausif first.
Tausif bhai, only on facts.
Anand bhai, only on facts. When you said that I am shouting like Mike Tyson, thank you so much, because I'm honest.
Not shouting, flexing.
जो सच होते हैं उनकी तो आवाज ज्यादा बुलंद होती है, Anand bhai. But thank you so much.
Shouting, flexing.
No,
flexing
it's all right. It's all right. But you are only talking about Bihar. Let me give you some facts about Bengal as well. Again, I start. 40 people, including booth level officers, died. The election commission did not train BLOs. क्यों नहीं किया आपने? कितना वक्त चाहिए आपको? ले लो जितना वक्त चाहिए. Didn't fix the
Please
system.
Explain Bihar में
Anand bhai, please. Anand bhai, please.
It's a
Who will
funny
delete
question,
this?
Tausif bhai.
Well, I can only tell you the election commission has today said that except Kerala and UP, digitization in other states is pretty healthy. Where is the pressure if digitization is going on healthily? Is the question many will ask. But let me get in Abbas Haider Saab, who's joined us after a very, very long time. Abbas Haider, welcome back to the News Hour. I want to ask you, मैं बहुत confused हूँ. अखिलेश भाई कह रहे हैं that it's too soon, don't do the SIR now. If it is done at the eve of the elections, then Bihar, RJD, Congress, Trinamool Congress, everybody says it's too close to the election. करे तो क्या करे? आप लोग आपस में तय करके बता दीजिए ना. आपका तो इंडिया अलायंस है ना?
Navika ji, thank you so much for calling me on your show. First of all, Navika ji, Samajwadi Party is of the view that SIR should not be used as a panic button for Bharatiya Janata Party. After losing the election in Uttar Pradesh, Ayodhya, BJP has tried to use it as a panic button. We are in support of a sincere SIR, but it should not be done in haste. Today, a video surfaced of Sarvesh Singh from Muradabad. He was a BLO. He has committed suicide because of work overload. Navika ji, and the Prime Minister is mocking the BLOs. Prime Minister is mocking the citizens of India who are choking with a AQI of 400. Even Shehzad, Prime Minister mocking Shehzad Poonawala, my dear friend, who is having some throat infection. Navika ji, he is saying कि मौसम का मजा लीजिए. अरे मौसम का मजा आप लीजिए, हम लोकतंत्र बचाने का काम करेंगे. Navika ji, there is a very pertinent question in the country. The Prime Minister is not answered any of them. Now, when the Prime Minister is coming out and giving statement outside the Parliament, which is not usual, it increases the suspicion of every common citizen of the country that why he don't want discussion on the issue of SIR. Has he got something to be hidden?
Kiran Rijiju has said that we are ready to discuss SIR. Fix a day. Why do you want to stall Parliament today? Kiran Rijiju has not said that we will not discuss SIR.
Then why is he not discussing this SIR? The opposition.
अरे भैया, सरकार में वो है. They will figure out a time. They are saying we are open to discussing SIR. Why do you want to dictate the time and the minute in which that is? You know, is this being unreasonable, Shehzad Poonawala?
सबसे पहले तो
Listen to the Prime Minister what he has said.
अब इस देश में it is against the Constitution. Are you saying Abbas Haider, it is against the Constitution now to say कि मौसम अच्छा है? Now you become संविधान के खिलाफ and you the संविधान saviors had to come in because somebody said आज मौसम अच्छा है, आप मौसम का मजा लीजिए. That is also संविधान के खिलाफ. Now, this is not drama. What is?
May I answer? First of all, Abbas, now you have some sympathy. You have just raised the question on my voice, but now you're not letting me.
Okay, he's responding, sir, and he's got a bad throat. Allow him the courtesy of some silence so that he can respond.
Abbas Haider, just for your knowledge, that I felt sick in a non-BJP, non-NDA rule state. Now I don't want to disclose it which state I was in. Leave it. Now second point.
We have to contact IB now.
नहीं, second point. मैं राहुल गांधी की तरह विदेश थोड़ी जाता हूँ. मैं भारत में ही रहता हूँ. सुनिए ना भाई, please. I'm requesting you. Have some courtesy. Second point.
The Prime Minister
Sir, Mr. Abbas Haider, I am really trying very hard with my broken voice, but you are not giving me the basic courtesy. This you do in Parliament also. Second point. I want to ask both one question to Mr. Mike Tyson, my friend Tausif, and Mr. Haider. Mr. Ravidas Mehrotra has said, ये राहुल यूजलेस है, बिहार में हम वोट चोरी से नहीं राहुल की वजह से आ रहे. इज ही करेक्ट? जयप्रकाश मजूमदार सेड, ये राहुल हटाओ ममता लाओ, ये बिहार में कुछ नहीं कर पाए. इज ही करेक्ट? एंड लास्टली, वोट चोरी, अब क्योंकि आने वाले हैं सोमनाथ दा, वोट चोरी का आरोप हम पे नहीं लगा. पता है किसके बारे में बोला? Congress has said in Punjab vote chori was done by Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Amar Singh and Mr. Bajwa. तो बोलिए सोमनाथ दा.
सोमनाथ भारती जी, प्लीज रिस्पॉन्ड. आपका दुश्मन है कौन, बीजेपी या कांग्रेस?
बी टीम. नविका जी Navika ji, see what has happened today, we all have witnessed very closely. And I have been very patiently listening all the honorable panelists. See, the entire controversy is very plain and simple. When Honorable Prime Minister says that Parliament needs delivery and not drama, we all agree with him. Parliament does need delivery and not drama, but democratic delivery starts with what? Accountability, transparency, and the right to debate. Today the country is worried about three huge problems, immediate huge problems. What are they? Law and order. We had Redford blast. We had Pulwama. We had Pahalgam. Then we have pollution. Delhi is witnessing severest pollution ever. We have 700 AQI. And what is the response of BJP? They are coming with hot air balloon ride. Then we have S.I.R. The foundation of a democracy, the vibrant democracy, is a election which is not obstructed by anybody. A transparent election, free and fair election. But the very BLOs who are reed ki haddi for this entire process of S.I.R., they are committing suicide. They are dying. They are saying we are overburdened. And till date, Navika ji, nobody has come to know what was the official note with which this S.I.R. was started. Who said what? Why was it needed? When we do like in Assam, are we doing S.I.R.? We're only doing their revision. We're not doing S.I.R. Well, Assam needs more of S.I.R. than any other state. That's a border state. But for God, God knows why it's not being done there. So question is, and then the Congress party. Look at the Congress party. I mean, rather than responding to such important questions and, surrounding BJP and making them accountable, answerable to the floor of the House, they brought a dog. So the entire debate, the entire stress got shifted. That's why I always say, Navika ji, जब बीजेपी फंसने लगती है तो कांग्रेस उनको बचाने के लिए कुछ न कुछ
सोमनाथ भारती जी, वैसे आज आपने एक बहुत अच्छी बात की, बहुत एंडियरिंग लगा मुझे कि आज आप अकाउंटेबिलिटी की और पोल्यूशन की बात कर रहे हैं. पिछले साल तक आप नहीं कर रहे थे, अब आप अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बात कर रहे हैं. जब आपकी सरकार थी तो आप ये बात नहीं करते थे और आज आपको ये पोल्यूशन दिखने लगी है. मैं तो कहूंगी इट इज डिवाइन इंटरवेंशन दैट यू हैव बिगन टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ पोल्यूशन. बट आई कंप्लीटली अग्री विद यू. Answers and accountability are important, but answers and accountability, Salim Dharnidharan, should be done in the hour and on the day decided by the opposition, or will there be the treasury benches and opposition getting together and figuring out a solution? Is it either or? Abhi karo, nahi to hum chalne nahi denge. If it is that kind of a conversation, there will never be consensus, and what we will see as people of India will only be drama and tamasha.
See, 35 minutes debate, I was patient, but I think in the 35 minutes we didn't talk the main crux of the issue. The crux of the issue is what is an essence for a democracy. An essence for any democracy is the parliament, right? The functioning of the parliament. But this government has shown profound disdain for parliamentary democracy. How? This time, winter session, the parliament is going to function only for 15 days. This is the lowest in the history of Indian independence. And many interesting and important bills, such as private participation in the atomic power and so on and so forth. A lot of important bills are going to be passed, 14 of them, but still the parliament is functioning only for 15 days, the lowest ever. And when it comes to disruptions, I have to tell you, 2009 to 2014 faced the highest number of disruptions. About 50% of the parliamentary days were wasted. thanks to the NDA then. Compared to that, are there any disruptions? No. But why are the disruptions actually happening? We wanted the NDA to tell the BJP rather to tell us the time at which the discussion on SIR would take place, and they have not done that. This is not the first time it's happening. Even the previous session, the session before that, whenever a matter of important concern was happening in the country and the opposition wanted to discuss that, the BJP had never shown any interest to discuss that matter. And as an opposition party representing 60% of this country's population...
So Anand Ranganathan, stalemate. Everybody is giving their version of why they should stall parliament. And that is why we are not going to see anything much coming out of it. It is the
BJP. BJP taught us.
BJP taught you, and you are great students. BJP is the teacher. You are great students, and therefore you might as well take them as their gurus. Your guru is sitting there, so they are winning elections. I don't know about the opposition. Anand Ranganathan, is this whataboutery?
No, it's gone beyond whataboutery, because I don't mind whataboutery at all. Whataboutery exposes the hypocrisy. If DMK, for example, was running the Tamil Nadu assembly very efficiently, then yes, it could say, what about the parliament that is not being run? Yes. But look at the disruptions that are happening, and my friend Salem knows it very well. During the DMK's term, please tell me how many days the TN assembly has been adjourned. Please tell me. It's not a question.
When should we question, and when should we get the answers?
Well, you should question during the parliament session if you allow it to run. But if you are more keen on carrying on with histrionics, then sorry to say, we are going to see scenes like this. Rahul Gandhi jumping across the aisle, going and giving a jadoo ki jappi to the Prime Minister, coming back, sitting and winking. Or we are going to see Renuka Chaudhary. Once upon a time, she came in a tractor to Parliament. Now she comes in a car with a dog, calls those sitting inside the ones who bite, not the ones in the car. Well, I really don't understand what's going on. It is the theatre of the absurd that we are seeing in Parliament. Tausif, this is my view, and I have the right to have my view. My view is that SIR should be debated. I'm with you on that. But the timing has to be done by the government, by the Business Advisory Committee, and that is where these decisions need to be taken. If you're attending them, be my guest, figure out a day, hold the debate as soon as possible. And we ask this question to people of India. Prime Ministers need delivery, not drama advice. Should opposition take note? Yes, say 86% of the people. No, say 12%. Can't say 2%. That is what majority of India, 86% people are saying. Guys, all of you, and this is not to one side, all of you get your act together, sit down, find a way to move forward, because this country needs their members of parliament delivering, working hard, finding solutions to problems of the people of India, not just some theatre. We leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me on debate number 1.